Today I'm making a card really quickly, mainly using the Maggie Holmes collection on my silhouette. I am going to start by drawing a rectangle that's the size of an A2 card. So I'll click on the rectangle where the dimensions show, scale, my width is going to be 4.25 and my height is going to be 5.5 and click apply. So I need two of these, so I will paste another version over here. That way, this is my front cover and this is the inside, and they are exactly the same size. Okay, so next I'm going to do an offset. Open the offset window, internal offset, and we're going to go to 0.25, click corner, I want a straight edge, click apply, and it puts it right there. So again, I'm going to copy and paste another version. Now, I like this size because it's even from the top and from the bottom. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this internal rectangle right here and I'm going to shorten it. I want it to only be 3 inches tall. Click apply, move it up here again, highlight both objects, click align center, this one right here. That way it places that block right in the middle and at the top of this rectangle. Now this one, again, I want the same width, but I want a smaller height. So again, I'll go to scale, and the height I'm going to change to 2 and click apply. So now that one fits right there, and I'll put it pretty close, but it doesn't have to be exact. Highlight those two rectangles, again go to the align feature, align center. So let me zoom in. So now you'll see they don't exactly touch, but that's okay because I'm going to be using some elements to go over that. This rectangle back here will be white, so I'm going to leave it as is. Now I'm going to select this rectangle right here and click on Fill Pattern. Now in my Fill Pattern section of this silhouette, I have added my Crepe Paper Maggie Holmes collection right here, so that when I click on it, it will automatically fill that particular window with the pattern. Now this particular paper, I am not going to print and cut this. I'm trying to just design on my Silhouette Studio and print and cut out only the elements. I'm going to use the actual scrapbook paper from my Maggie Holmes scrapbook pad for this background right here. So I want it to match that pattern size a little better, so I'm going to click on Advanced Options and up the scale pattern size and see how we do here. Okay, that looks more accurate to the size that's in the pad. Okay, so again I'm going to go to Fill Pattern, and I'm going to go down here again to my Maggie Holmes collection and click on these flowers. Same thing, these are quite a bit smaller than the actual pad, so again I'm going to click 200%, and that is a lot more accurate. And then we'll zoom out. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now, just to show you where I had those, if you go into my library under My Patterns right here, this is where I added the extra folders for American Crafts, Dear Lizzie, Neapolitan. You'll see all those papers. Here's the Maggie Holmes papers, Crepe Paper Maggie Holmes. Now, I did have a lot of questions about how I drag and dropped these from my other videos. And yes, I have confirmed it. It is only possible to add it to this section if you have the designer edition. The designer edition is about $50, and because of this option alone, I would say it is worth the upgrade. I use this particular feature for so much. So I really believe strongly that it is worth that extra $50. Now the matching elements I add into the My Library section. So for today, we're going to again click on Crepe Paper Maggie Holmes, and here I've imported all of the Maggie Holmes designs. Now I'm going to grab this butterfly, and there's some flowers I wanted to get. This one here, this one here, and I like this little banner. We'll clean that all up here in a second. Let's see here. Where's that blue banner? I thought about using that, but I think I'll skip on it. Oh, here's the blue banner. And there was a tag that I really liked. Let's see, where did it go? There's several tags in here, but there's one. Aha, this one. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit for you here. There we go. So you'll see as I added these things, it just kind of stacked them all in here. Now we want this butterfly to be a much smaller size to actually look like it fits on the paper. Oops. I do want to rotate this butterfly slightly, and I want to shrink it down a little bit, and it will fit right about here. This flower is way too big, and I'm actually going to layer 3 of these on top of each other, but we'll put it right here. And then there's also this big yellow flower, which I love. Send backward. It's going to be layered on top of this one, and I think we're going to leave it at its size for right now. I like that nice big bold look that it has. This one is going right here, but we're going to scale it down to where the pieces really fit edge to edge, and I want it a little bit skinnier. Send backward. Okay. Then I'm going to raise up this butterfly a little bit. Let's bring this down. I actually want it to cover over that little line right there. Then I want this one to go right through here. Okay, now there's a couple of other things I want to add in here. One is a mason jar from the American Crafts Dear Lizzie Neapolitan collection. Let's see if I can find that jar. This little mason jar with the hearts. So we'll put it right about here. Okay. So there we have our little mason jar with our little flowers in it, just like so. And then we have our tags with our butterflies. Then this tag I want to kind of dangle off of the side. Say bring to front, rotate it, and need this really to scale down and look like it belongs here. Okay, so now we're going to scale down this "how lovely" because I want both of those words to show. There we go. And then this tag I'm going to attach with some twine and a bow and put it right there to make it look like it's attached to that jar. Okay, so those are all of the elements for the actual card itself and how I put them together. Now the other thing I did over here for, oh, you know what, there's also a doily. I forgot. That's from the Maggie Holmes collection. And let's find that one doily. Oh, there's the house I need. I had a house, and here's the doily. And I needed one little tag that said "perfect" or something like that on it. Can't find it right now. Ah, here it is, "precious." There we go. Okay, so those just stack right there in the middle. This goes right there. Send it back. Bring forward. Ooh, where'd it go? There we go. Okay. And there we go. So that's the design and how I come up with the actual design itself. Then what I do is I take all of this apart because I know I print off the actual look itself in grayscale on my printer just by clicking the print button right here, send to printer. I'll put it on an 8.5 by 11 and print it out so that I have a copy that I can work off of. Now these are going to be actual papers, so I'm going to delete all of those because I don't need those, but all of these individual elements I need to print and cut. So let me show you that file that I already had built earlier. So here it is here. All I did was change my page size to an 8.5 by 11. I clicked on registration marks, show registration marks, and then I copied all of those pieces were in this section already, just set as I need them to be. Now the flowers, I am wanting to make a layered look, so I copied 3 of the pink and 3 of the yellow. I will first make a print and cut out of cardstock, then I'm also going to do a print and cut on vellum, and then we'll use different pieces of those to layer. I thought the vellum would look good mixed in with the flowers, but also the jar itself that's going to be on the card, I want it to be made out of vellum because I want to put some little stems down from the flowers, like with some green embroidery thread, and I want it to look like there's stems in the jar. So that's the look we're going for, and now we'll print and cut. One more step that I need to do before I print and cut is I need to make my cut lines. So I will click on Open the Trace window, select Trace Area, and select the entire page. Now you'll see it outlines a little bit of everything. High pass filter off, threshold all the way up. Now you'll see there's a pretty solid line around each one of those elements. So now we can click Trace Outer Edge. Now there is a cut line around every single one of those elements. You can click on the little scissors right here and it will show you the cut style window. So that's how all of those will cut. So the first thing I do is I send them to the printer, then I come back and I send them to the silhouette to get cut out. So here's the card all finished. I added the brads to the flowers so that they have flower centers. I only adhered the doily on part of it so that it kind of stands out. I added a green wire down here to make it look like little stems are going into the jar. I did back up the vellum jar with a solid copy of the jar because otherwise this background showed through and you couldn't really see the jar. So this way they can still see the stems come through. And then I added the tag and just wrote "Thanks a bunch" on there. The little butterfly, there's a vellum one on the bottom and then a regular cardstock one on top. And I added Lindy's Stamp Gang, I think it's called like Angel Gold Snow, something like that. It's one of their more clear embossing powders that has a little bit of gold in it. And then on the inside I lined the back to cover up the brads and then just added those two pieces of cardstock elements, and then I'll write my note right here. So that's the thank you card all finished. Thanks for watching.